Hi Gemini, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly horoscope for the month of October. We are in a very heavy fall season because Mars is retrograde until November 13th, and that doesn't happen very frequently. Mars stationed retrograde on September 9th at 28 degrees of the cardinal fire sign of Aries, and it stations direct on November 13th at 15 degrees of Aries. And Mars loves being in the sign of Aries. It's how we get the drive to get things done. It gives us our passion. It gives us our courage. And when Mars is retrograde, it can make you feel more depressed, more deflated. You can feel less courageous that you can get these things done. And for you, Mars is retrograding in your house of organizations, community, friends, and groups. So you may find that there's friction maybe in some of your friendships, maybe an organization that you're connected with. You may find also, because Mars only retrogrades once every 2 years, and the last time it retrograded in this sector of your chart was 1988 and 1941, so it doesn't happen very frequently, obviously. So you may find that old friends from many different areas of your life resurface because it is in your house of friends and groups, and a good use of this Mars retrograde, because Mars retrograde is heavy, especially in a sign so potent like Aries, and a sign that it rules, and one that is impatient and does not like being held back. A positive use of this is to figure out ways to be more effective in how you use energy, and for you, and how you connect to others, how you network. And also the 11th house is the house of enlightenment and metaphysics. Maybe you're returning to things you used to study. Maybe you used to study astrology or some other form of metaphysics, numerology, feng shui, I don't know, something. And you may be returning to that because in this time, this very existential time in the world, it does make you, seek solace in different ways. So that might be something that you're reconnecting to groups maybe that you used to be associated with. On the 2nd of October, Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty, exits the sign of Leo and enters the sign of Virgo, where it'll be until October 27th. And Venus in Virgo is very detail oriented. For you, it's transiting in your house of home and family and your emotional foundation. So this is a great time for beautifying your environment and your home, seeking joy in your home, and getting some comfort, because all of us have been working in this Capricorn year of lockdown. So it's a time where you do need to restore, and you do need to seek some comfort within, and within your family as well. So that's taking place on the 2nd. On October 4th, and we have to all prepare ourselves, Pluto stations direct, and that's going to be a really big deal because it stations direct at the world axis at 22 degrees of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. And that's where Saturn and Pluto met up at the beginning of the year on January 12th at 22 degrees of Capricorn, and the two had met up in the sign of Capricorn for over 500 years. And Saturn is the planet of karmic lessons and restrictions and authority, and Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and power. And the two met up in 1982 and 1983. And now they met up this year for the first time in Capricorn for a very, very long time. And Jupiter was expanding that narrative. Jupiter entered Capricorn on December 2nd, and the South Node of Karma was also there at the beginning of the year. This has been a historical year of lockdown and working within restrictions, but we all do need to recharge, and we do need to replenish and to figure how we can proceed forward. And Mars retrograding in a cardinal sign is not easy, but it's helping us to get that needed pause that we all need to take to strategize further, because Saturn will exit Capricorn at the end of this year, as will Jupiter. So we're almost done with the Capricorn story. And so right now we're all reconciling what happened at the beginning. What happened at the beginning of the year. We're getting more information on the pandemic, probably about the economy, because Capricorn rules governments and it rules corporations. There will be a lot more angry energy. That's realistic, because it's setting off this world axis, which means everybody is going to feel it. Mars gets to 22 degrees of Aries in your house of friends and groups on October 8th, and then it squares Pluto in Capricorn on October 9th. That's a very combative aspect and one of war and major power struggles. So recognizing that Mars transiting in your house of friends is squaring Pluto in your house of transformation. The whole Capricorn story of collapsing of old structures and renovation and repair has been falling in your 8th house, which is the Scorpio house of transformation. And that's a very, very heavy cycle, and one you'll never deal with again in your life. And it brings up some very psychological issues. Can be very painful, can be very good for doing healing work, but it is not easy, and so Mars setting off Pluto will not be easy. We need to all find ways to handle that in an effective and balanced way as much as we're able. Expect big news in your own life and on the world stage. And then on October 10th, transiting Venus in the sign of Virgo forms a trine to Uranus in Taurus, and Venus is in your house of home and family, and Uranus is transiting in your 12th house of the imagination and the subconscious mind, and that can be very creative energy. It can be good for fixing up something at home. If you have your own business or you work at home, that can be good for financial opportunities. And on October 11th, the Sun in Capricorn forms a square to Jupiter. The Sun in Libra forms a square to Jupiter in Capricorn. And the Sun is transiting in your house of romance and creativity and love affairs until October 22nd, when it exits the sign of Libra and enters Scorpio. And the Sun is squaring Jupiter, and that's an excessive energy, but it's not a bad one per se. It just, could be a lot going on. Could be romantic. Could be very sexy, actually. And then on the 12th of October, Jupiter in Capricorn forms what's known as a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. And that's an aspect of manifesting and creativity. In ancient astrology, Jupiter ruled the sign of Pisces, and in modern astrology, Neptune rules the sign of Pisces. But both deal with manifesting and imagination. And Neptune rules your house of career, and Jupiter is transiting in your 8th house of transformation. So that could be something good for a financial, maybe something with investments, and could be good for professional projects as well. Excellent for manifesting. Definitely target that day for doing some manifesting work. And on October 13th, Mercury, which is the ruler of your chart, stations retrograde at 11 degrees of Scorpio, and it retrogrades in your house of work and daily routine. It's going to re-enter the sign of Libra on October 27th, which is in your house of love affairs and romance. And then it stations direct on November 3rd at 25 degrees of Libra. And this exactly replicates what happened in the fall of 2018 when Venus was retrograde in Scorpio. It retrograded on October 5th at 11 degrees or 10 degrees and 50 minutes of Scorpio, and it's stationed direct on November 17th at 25 degrees of Libra. And that's exactly what's happening this time. So you may find old lovers return, people from your past in different ways come back, people you used to work with, and there could be miscommunication. Again, you're very familiar with Mercury retrograde. You're a Gemini, so you're aware of this energy. But again, Mars and Mercury will be retrograde at the same time for a while, and it's reviewing things that you want to do to be most effective in your work moving ahead when Mercury and Mars do station direct in November, because we only have Saturn in Capricorn until December 17th and Jupiter in Capricorn until December 20th. And as challenging as this story has been, this is about committing to your goals and anchoring them. So working as much as you can towards that objective. And let's see, we've got Mercury retrograde, and then we've got a new moon on the 16th of October, and that falls in your house of romance and love affairs, and it occurs at 23 degrees of Libra. And that is in the sign that is ruled by Venus. So it's a beautiful new moon around love and relationships. It falls in your house of romance and joy, but it does form an opposition to Mars and Aries and to Eris, the goddess of discord, which is the sister of Mars, very fiery, feminine energy. And both Mars and Eris are transiting in your house of friends and groups. So this is an excellent new moon for planting seeds around romance and new beginnings in that area. Maybe there's a new relationship, but again, there could be a little bit of fiery energy with friends and people that you connect with. We've got on the 18th of October, the Sun in Libra forms a square to Saturn in Capricorn, and that's challenging. And Venus in Virgo forms an opposition to Neptune in Pisces. And so whether that's just feeling depleted, or maybe something at work comes out that is a bit underhanded or just confusing, that energy is that's not the most ideal day. We have on the 22nd of October, the Sun in Scorpio. The Sun enters the sign of Scorpio and enters your house of work and daily routine, where it will be until November 21st. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty, also changes signs that day. It exits the sign of Libra and enters Scorpio, where it also will be until November 21st. So that's good for getting your work routines in check. Maybe you're getting into an exercise routine. Maybe you're fixing up your appearance through your nutrition and your daily habits. That would be a good use of it. And then we have, let's see here, on the, so we've got Venus, and then we've got a full moon on Halloween on October 31st. There's a full moon in Taurus that occurs at 4:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is going to be at 8 degrees of Taurus in your 12th house of dreams and imagination. And it is conjunct Uranus, the planet of the unexpected. So you could be manifesting some powerful dreams then. You might be experiencing some very unexpected messages or dreams. And again, really creative energies. So it's going to be a really intense month. No way around that one. So tapping into ways of tempering the stress, being effective in your time, and also strategizing for when Mars and Mercury do station direct in November. I wish you a lot of luck, Gemini. Thank you very much. Take care.